Good morning, FYI family, and welcome to our broadcast. Let us know if you're hearing us clearly. Gwyneth Anderson and Shirley Barton, Gary, Shirley Barton Gray, my Lord. Shirley Barton Gray, apologies, Shirley. Good morning, Marnus Toby from PK, Port Kaituma, and also from Belladrum. Morning, good morning, how are you doing? Deborah Pearson, Gwyneth Anderson, as I said, Jacqueline Johnson, good to see you there. Evelina Whitaker's here as well, and all the other folks who are joining us this morning. So good to see so many of you on the live, folks. So many of you on the live. It's a privilege being here with each and every one of you. Another day, folks. It's Friday at RN. Friday, the 21st day of February. So we got a week left. March is on the weekend. How are you guys doing? Mashramani is on the weekend, folks. Left, right, and center. You know, I was hoping to get up to Kokwani for Mashramani this year. It doesn't seem likely. So much happening. You know, I want to go Port Base. I want to go region 5, 6. I want to go region 10, 3, 2, 1. You know, so much happening, folks. But happy to be here with all of you. Let us know if you are hearing us loud and clear this morning. I like this name, Shoreen Hohenkort. Lovely name. Good to have you on this morning, Shoreen. Good to have some more Williams too, all the S's. All right. Good to have Volme, all the S's. Marcia, Marlin. Good to have Lynette Fernandez on the live this morning. Lyndon Gill, Diane Mitchell. Auntie Sandra on the live this morning too. Marcia Agard says she's watching us from Kokwani. Heard you guys have a lovely mash planned from the waterfront. So I was hoping to come up and bring the wife along with me. Doesn't seem likely now. You know, so much to get done, folks, and so little time. And I hope you guys are great. I hope you guys are well. Please God. I hope that you guys are great. Diane and Volme, Auntie Sandra's on the live this morning. You know, it's nothing like when you're doing life on your own terms. It's nothing better, nothing greater Then when you're calling your own shots, talking a little bit here about retirement, you're calling your own shots. I got some relatives, my aunt and uncle, retiring this year. I want to be like them. My mother retired. Auntie Sandra, you have the clock fully? Some people retire, but they go back and they put in a couple hours just to keep busy, which is a good thing. No sense, just sitting down and, sitting on the dock of the day, watching the time roll away. So they go back and they put in a couple hours doing something, So I want to get to that stage. Eventually, I got a long time ahead of me, man. Long time ahead. But doing life on your own terms. You come and go as you please. Now, sir, Auntie Sandra. Yep, Auntie Sandra says she's off the clock. Yeah, that's the life, That's the life. Only pension got to come smoothly now. You're going to think and, And that's why I advocate. I got to go and check up. Because I heard something the other day, I thought, everything was everything. And now I got to go and check up. Don't wait. I think too many people wait on the cusp of retirement. 55 is the age in the public service. 54, now they're going to see, this in place. I got the requisite number of contributions and so on. I think periodically, David Papin, Jilly G, Shally DeRida, Sharmila Edgil, periodically, we ought to, especially locally. I know y'all fancy places, Florida and so on, Jilly G. Y'all fancy places, Everett and so on. Y'all ain't got the kind of trauma we got. Y'all got y'all 401k and the everything up to your neck like that. That's why some of you could build a nice house here and retire and live comfortable for the rest of your life. You travel, at your own convenience and so on. You got a house in the US and so on. Nice time. We could have that dream, We could have that pie. If we put aside this madness, political divisiveness in this country, and work together, we got the money to do it. But it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you. Auntie Sandra says she's off the clock as of the 31st of December, 2024. Beautiful. Congrats to you. Right? Congrats to you. Here's to being off of the clock. Here's to being off the clock, folks. All right. Lilith Fernandez says, I'm off the clock and enjoying it at your own. Man, look. Your own convenience lane. You and the kids come and go as you please. You go on a cruise, a little vacation here and so on. Auntie Sandra, don't let me hold you back. Life has just begun. Look, you click the right buttons. You get a little Airbnb someplace. You play a little $2 and you go on and see someplace fascinating, whether it's locally or internationally. Whether locally or internationally, my wife and I, paid a 5 cents the other day, went up to Linden. We have family in Linden. You don't always want discomfort your family, pack up at them, watch it in the butt. We rented a little place and went and watched and listened to the Soca Monarch. And then we did some kayaking after that and so on. Nice time. So you can live well, even here. You can live well. You want to think Trinidad, Barbados, wherever. You might got to pay a little extra. Right? You're going to make up pay a little extra, but treat yourself well. Treat yourself well. I lived in Trinidad for a little bit, and I regretted I'd never been to Tobago before. The other day when I went. Lived in Trinidad for a couple of mornings. Never been to a carnival in Trinidad. Never been to Tobago. Just walk. Just walk. And so when they had the oil spill the other day, and I went, I'm surprised. $60 from Trinidad to Tobago. Flight. Caribbean Airlines. They call it Air Bridge. $60. By the time you're up in the air, you're landing. And then you can do it. They have boats too. You pay a couple of dollars at a Airbnb, what do they call it, man? Nice little accommodation, something. You know, if you look around, they got things to meet your pocket. You see some place nice, you come off the clock. This nice time, man. Nice time. Right? Nice time. Nice time. Nice time. You know? But good to have all of you folks here with us. Sud Harry, Sud Chan, Brian Daniels, Frank Rice, Tommy Gibbs. Good to see all of you all on the live this morning. You know, as I see Auntie Sandra there. Let me start with this story this morning. All right. Here's story here. Been following the, you know, let's start in GLG country, and then we come back home. Right? Bring some order. So what we doing? You know, Trump like these boys, he little disgusting. Not plenty. He little disgusting. He little disgusting. The people told him, you know, he has signed, is it a sleuth? I'm trying to get my words right. Of executive orders, a sweet sleuth, whatever it is. You know, Kemraj. My mentor, one of my mentors. I'm proud to say that too. One of my mentors, Kemraj Ramjatan. When he able to explain himself, he said, whatever it is, you know, you're trying to bog him down with the details. He said, it's like he's saying, get to the point. Whatever it is. You see, when you get big, I'm realizing that now, you don't got time with too many detours. You know, you don't got time with too many delays and too many details. Sometimes, you know, it's like Apple founder Steve Jobs says, life is too short to waste it on whatever it is. Jerry G said it there, your patience thin. when you get to a certain age, your patience thin. The kind of patience you had with people when you were younger and, you know, you're trying to be nice. You're trying to be kind. I find, as you get older, you don't have it. Your time is limited. Steve Jobs says, don't waste it on anybody, whatever it is. The judge told them, all of these orders, sweet of executive orders, halt this freeze on U.S. aid and foreign aid, halt it. And just like them boys say, you know them boys still going down the road doing one thing? They're still going down. They're still going down the road. Naomi says, as you get older, you realize all the BS. You know, that's another way of putting it. And it takes you a while to understand this. It's like T.G. Jake says, by the time you understand what life is, half of it is gone. I remember this girl from my church. I could mark the X on the ground when I loved this girl. I could mark the X on the ground. Robo Koteyende. I could mark it. And I remember my mother and I left church today. She was holding my hands. I was this young. She was holding my hand. We walking. We walk from Durban Street out to South Road. And something I telling her, all my brashness and youth, thinking all about the world. And like I'm pouring out my soul. Pouring out my soul to my mother. Yeah, that kind of way. Lady looked down at me. Looked down at me. I can remember the spot. I can remember what she was wearing. Looked down at me. She said, son, she's not for you. She's not for you. She's not for you. And she didn't say it in a way like I was better than her or anything. You don't want to admit it now. But sometimes your parents could see some things coming 10 miles up the road. But you, in your own brashness, you don't have the experience. I live to see the day. I live to see the day. That girl wrecked my young little Christian heart, boy. Live to see it. How are you going to tell me, mother, now? You're right, because I was respectful to my mother that morning. Right? She said, look down on me. She's not for you. I look up at her and I said, in my heart, I see you don't live your life. You don't live your life already. I can show you. You don't live your life already. When that girl dismantled me heart, devil's daughter, dismantle. I live to see. My mother said her story, And my mother cast a judgment. She said, she's not for you. That was she executive order. Right? She said, break up her. Time by time. Oh, Father. Time. You see, as you get older, you build up that experience. As Naomi says, you got less time for base. Because of your experience, you can see the thing coming. You could see the thing coming 10 miles out. You understand? Oh, Father. Some people saw Trump coming. Mitt Romney saw Trump coming. 10 miles out. Romney was a businessman. He was involved in Senator Mitt Romney. Think he's retiring now. Good time for this madness. Life too short. Auntie Sandra says she was, let me see if I get it. It slipped by. Auntie, she's not for you. She's not for you. Auntie Sandra says she spent 40, I just saw the comment rushing by. 43 years in the profession. Yep. 43 years in the public and private sector as a nurse, midwife. She said it was awesome. 43 years. Working for the man. 43 years. 43 years. So Trump kept on keeping on doing the thing. The Trump for second, the judge for second time now says, unfreeze the foreign aid. Unfreeze it. It reminded me of when we had this case of the parliamentary secretaries before the Court of Appeal ruled on it. When the High Court says they were illegal. High Court said they were illegal. I think it was upheld by the High Court or the Court of Appeal, but it went all the way up to the CCJ. And the ALG says they can't sit down in the National Assembly. I can bring a chair and put it on the side. They ain't up and sit down on chairs in the National Assembly. I can bring a chair. The judge said one thing, and Trump keep on keeping on, right? But the judge has said again, has reaffirmed his order for the Trump administration officials to lift a freeze on nearly all foreign aid. And he has rejected their claim, rejected it, that they could continue suspending the contracts while reviewing them. This is Judge Amir Ali, right? Judge Amir Ali, fed up with them. Amir Ali, he said according to the report, he criticized the Trump administration for the wholesale en masse aid suspension, but he has stopped short of holding the administration in contempt. He has stopped short of holding the administration in contempt. So we're following this, folks. We're following that. And while we're on Trump, every day you wake up is something else in the administration. You know? Something else. Jagger says, then we should follow? I don't think we should follow them. I don't think we should follow them. Now, the U.S. Farm, Environment and Interior Agency, their staff has been instructed by the Trump administration not to communicate to Congress. And this is according to a representative, right? Shali Pingree, that's the name of the representative. Now, you know when you're telling agency staff, don't talk to the press. And more than that, don't talk to nobody from the legislature, especially Democrats. That's a red flag right there. That is a red flag right there. Of course, the representative has condemned this directive as disruption to vital congressional decision making, of course, because if you don't have inadequate information, how can you make decisions? You can't. You cannot make wholesome decisions, strong decisions with inadequate information. But once people start saying, don't talk, or else, you're in trouble there. You're in trouble there. There's trouble ahead. There's trouble ahead. Now, this other story locally, this one, folks, is something else. This story. When I read this story last night, you know, I saw family post this information online, and we took it up right away. Post all the letters they've been circulating. We don't treat our nurses well in this country. To borrow a phrase from Amanzo Walton this year, it has occurred to me, we don't treat our nurses, our healthcare workers, professionals, practitioners, we don't treat them well at all. Whether it's in pay, whether it's in our own conduct, approach, engagement with them. You all know to be a nurse, like Auntie Sandra was. Anywhere in this world, you set, you know. You set. You see these vehicles, they call them luxury vehicles, that are tormenting the Mohammeds for the Jagdeo Ali administration, tormenting the Mohammeds. I said it last night and I'll say again. If you work in this country and you want to live a little nice, 3 vehicles you're bringing in and you got paid $300 million. Everybody in this country can be into gold and diamond and bauxite. Everybody in this country don't have oil fields, oil blocks, and so on. $300+ million. That's just in duty. That's just in duty. Just in duty. Yeah, a couple months ago, the other day, I went looking for a Kia, the Kia Sorento. Right? The dealer was advising, buy a new vehicle. And he made a powerful pitch. The local Kia dealer here, months ago, many months ago. He made a powerful pitch. He took me over to the repair shop that they have. And he showed me a Kia Sorento that was involved in a crash. He said this Kia Sorento was wrapped around a tree or a post on the west side. And when he showed me that mangled vehicle, I said, well, my condolences to the driver and so on, the family and so on. Because they had to be the great beyond. He said, no, the driver survived. And then he explained, one, the virtues of a new vehicle. That's number one. And number two, the virtues of a good vehicle. With airbags and the steering wheel, airbags that go to the roof and the side and all of that. And he was explaining the safety features of the Kia Sorento. I always liked it as a vehicle. But when he called the price, at that time, folks, Gloria and Neon and all the others, at that time, right? Jilly G, Kia Sorento was $28 million off the lot. $28 million. This is with the duty. I said, what? But the point I want to make, right? The point I want to make is this. Because I come around to something. I'm talking about how we don't treat our health professionals well. I have a certain younger family, if y'all don't own one yourselves. They went to the States, visited my relative and so on. I saw a cousin of mine. She's into pharmacology. That's what she does. She studied it, and that's what she does where she works. Ensuring that all the campuses of this hospital get all the right drugs and that kind of stuff. My cousin driving a Kia Sorento. Right? My cousin driving a Kia Sorento. Because as long as you got a job and you got proper credit, you could drive wherever you want to drive. Why we can't have that here? So let me come from the States. Years ago, I was in Antigua. Years ago, and I saw nurses in Antigua driving some high-end vehicles. Some high-end vehicles. I saw some nurses in Antigua driving. High-end. I saw nurses in Antigua building some fantastic homes and then pushing drugs, then thieving out the drugs or anything like that from us. Based on what they're being paid. And that thing amazed me. We don't treat our health professionals well. That's where I wanted to start. And when I saw this story last evening, Jesus Lord, fathers have his mercy. Father have his mercies. This family from Bartica put out this story. Fantastic, hard-working family. This sister that passed was a nurse in the region. And I can't remember if they said she was a staff at the very hospital that allegedly had a hand in her demise. But she was a nurse. She visited the Bartica hospital one day, and then she was dead the next. Right? I know the sister who made the post. She used to be the town clerk of Bartica. I know they said, we didn't want to come to Facebook. But we've been pushed around for months. We've been pushed around. Nobody can tell us why our sister died. Nobody can tell us. After a 12-hour shift, the sister was feeling unwell. Young woman. After 12-hour shift. And she went to the hospital. She could hardly walk. Hardly exit the vehicle on her own strength. And the family explained that the treatment of this young woman. What frightened me is that if you are a nurse working at an institution and your treatment could be so callous, imagine the ordinary man. Hint to Kusheba, make Bathsheba take notice. If a nurse could be treated in this manner, how much more the ordinary man? Because I always understood it that nurses got a certain respect for each other. Health professionals. Oh, you're a nurse? We would buck up and give you a little better treatment than they might the ordinary man. When the family explained the treatment of this young lady, my God. So she got some tests done. Right? According to these blood tests or whatever tests they were, they didn't see anything wrong, any anomalies, anything. Then this was the 28th day of December last year. The next day, this young lady was dead. The next day, she was dead. And that's when the travails started. The family said the police went on the theory that she died by suicide. Right? That's the theory they're working with, or started working with. They came to the home, checked around and took some stuff, whatever it is. And then the post-mortem examination went haywire. The pathologist was supposed to get some post-mortem kit. One day it never turned up. It went missing, a whole host of calamities. They still can't find this post-mortem kit till they like now. And so the post-mortem has been deemed inconclusive. Yeah. And then the family, the police, based on what the family put on social media, promised to get back to them on some of their findings, and they've been running behind the police. Police stopped responding to them. They reached out to the health authorities. This young lady was a health professional, trained nurse. She had her RN, a registered nurse. And then she had a degree in nursing, a BSN, I think they call it, in nursing. And so the family reached out to the healthcare providers concerning a healthcare worker. Could you give us some information? We want to know what was her last week of work, like the last 24 hours. Some basic information. They wrote to the health authorities in Bartica. I hope I'm capturing it correctly. The health authorities in Bartica said, based on the protocols, they are going to forward the letter to the relevant authority in Georgetown, and that the family should follow up. The story is on our Facebook page. You can get the details there. The family went ahead and followed up with the authorities in Georgetown, copying the doctor's letter, whoever from Bartica, that was also forwarded beforehand, hopefully. And the family says they have heard nothing back. This girl died on the 28th day. The 28th day, if not the 29th of December, just after Christmas. It's February 21. And it's a royal runaround. And the family says all it wants is closure. All it wants is closure. How did our young, healthy sister die? How did a young nurse? You tell me, if you sick as a health professional in this country, this is your treatment? God forbid, like Miss Wallison, you should transition life. This is the runaround, your family. What we giving we energy to in this country? Right? This was an RN, a BSN. She probably had her choice of places she could work. And this girl said, I take Guyana. Like the Calypso Monarch says something similar in the song that he won with last night. I choose Guyana. And this is how we could treat this young lady, registered nurse and RN. Got her BSN, working in this system, in this one Guyana. And this is how we treat this young lady and her family, stonewalling them. My God. Imagine the ordinary man. Imagine the ordinary man, how they're treated in the system. Imagine if you don't have family like Phoebe Thomas to speak up for you, to say, listen, this quietude, and the family says it. It seems in this country, only when you come on social media and you post things, your name and shame, then you get any action. Young nurse, beautiful. They didn't say if she was married, if she had kids. Now starting life and going after the Guyanese dream, serving our country, worked for 12 hours in the system, fell ill and died. And to God, she can rest in peace. Family just want closure. The fastest growing economy, high income country, biggest GDP. You see, when you take away this thing, but all these hospitals, they said a building and so on, and you go to the quality of the service people are going to receive, and the quality of the staff and the treatment of staff and the treatment of patients is a different thing. I learned a long time ago, and I know y'all learned it too. Big fancy building and mean development. Just like jacket and tie, I mean people got morals and scruples and decency and so on. So we in a bad way. We in a bad way. We in a bad way. Policeman doing his duties, fell overboard and drowned. Lance Corporal Batson, they've recovered his body. They have recovered his body, and his family too. They're challenging the narrative of how Corporal Batson met his demise. So there's a lot to deal with. A lot to deal with. Right? The place where the money coming in, the Natural Resource Fund Board. This is where the oil revenues should be looked at, scrutinized, and then the law dictates how it should be spent. Businessman Terence Campbell said they're doing their own thing here. Right? They're doing their own thing. The board is a rubber stamp. The board, they got I think 2 or 3 committees as part of the Natural Resource Fund. There's an investment committee, and they should be determining, based on what the law says, how this money should be spent. Since the Natural Resource Fund Act came into being, them boys amended twice. Now they could take out everything. I'm speaking broadly here. I think in the beginning they could take out half of what came in from oil. And then they find there wasn't enough. They went and changed it. And now they could just draw out everything. It used to be under the law APNU created. They had to specify what this money was going to be spent on. It was supposed to be spent on national development, and it lists a couple of things. They changed all of that. Businessman Terence Campbell, he's on the board. Right? He's on the board. He carried them to court. He's taking them to court. You're by Freddie. You're by Freddie. Look, all hell could be breaking loose. Every minister in this government could declare the corrupt. He was right by that, you know. Every minister could declare, I got conflict of interest. He was right by that. Today, right with Bisram. Is it Marcus Bisram? The pollster, quote unquote. I have seen this gentleman, whoever he is, Bisram, whatever it is, right and say, oh, the PPP winning, landslide. They ain't got a problem there, you know. Then when they reposting. Landslide victory predicted for the PPP. Irfan is a transformational president. Oh, he has done well. You see, once you're so weighing them, you're praising them, you're bigging them up, they ain't gonna problem with you, you know. You're the kind of people that they like. Or if you ain't saying nothing at all, they like you too. Once you have an independent opinion, oh, trouble. When Besram was weighing them, they had no problem. They would go and preach his message. You see? All the polls are saying we're leading. We're well liked and so on. Since Bisram published that the PPP are at the weakest they've ever been in since 2020. Oh my Lord. They sent out a former pit bull, now a chihuahua. A man of former glories. They send he out now. Suddenly, oh, he'd always question Bisram methodology. Bisram says he published a poll called the Nocta poll. Oh, he searched the internet. He never seen no way named Nocta poll. Oh, Bisram claimed he's so bright and he got all these degrees and masters, and he speaks to all these people and influencers and so on. And his aim is to discredit That's the real aim here, to discredit Bishram in the poll. Bishram says, if APNU and AFC get the act together, right, they could clean the PPP clock. If they get the act together and present themselves well, they got this. PPP is at the weakest it has been since 2020, he says. And he says people like Ashuddin Mohammed and Glenn Lal, they're gaining traction, gaining in popularity, and that they also could mount a formidable challenge and win seats. Now it just goes to say, you know, the thing is there, like how in 2010, we knew based on the results, if APNU came together with AFC, we had a winning combination based on the results of the 2010 election that put the PP in a minority government. Based on what the polls told us, together we'd be over that 51% hurdle. Bishram said the PPP that somewhere around 44 or something, 46. Now, if you're telling me APNU, AFC together could mount a formidable challenge and take government at the end of the year, and you're telling me Lal and Ashuddin and others growing in influence and could pick up seats. Now, that seemed like a little no-brainer to me. If we could get everybody together, if we could get everybody speaking the same language, singing from the same hymn book, Jesus Lord, in November we got a new government. I wish the people of this country could get like that, you know. You slip up, you're gone. Take a 5 years, come back again. Soon just slip up. Friend or foe, you're gone. Take a 5 years, contemplate the action, and come again. We get it right. We can get it right. So now they're coming after Bishram. They're coming after Bishram. You see, when you start singing for them boys, when you start singing for them boys, they want you to sing all the time, you know. When you start singing from their hymnal, oh, the PP is good, they're great, transformational, nice things are happening everywhere. You can sing a calypso, a chutney or a soca. Let's show them in a bad light. You can't make it. You remember last year? Huh? Where is a little child or an adult? Can't make it. Can't make it. They're sensitive. They're emotionally distressed easy. So they worry about Bishram now. What they're trying to do in essence is to blunt a momentum. Blunt it. As you did in Black Bush. Right? Troubles them. AFC in Beirut. PNC everywhere. That bothers them. And then you're getting good reports now. Bishram touchdown. People want the AFC and PNC to get the act together, the APNU. You know, people yearning for something different. They don't want corruption. They can't allow that to take hold. They can't allow that to take hold. So who they got for jail and prosecute and malign and condemn? Who they got to embarrass? They can embarrass. And then they use some of your own brothers now to keep selling you over and over into slavery. Right? Suddenly they can know this and They don't believe this anymore, and they don't believe that anymore. Suddenly the PP get good. Think it's the PP? It's the cheddar. It's how much grain just they could get. Paul Slow going to court today. Paul Slow, they said he revealed the identity of a lady who has accused him, alleged that he sexually assaulted her. That's what they're claiming. She's due in court today, and we're following that. See, all these mechanisms, you know, they can say your tax, you're up to date, they send the taxman after you. They say you rape somebody, oh yeah, you thief. This is the playbook of them boys. Is the playbook. This is the season. So we're watching this. Remember we told y'all, but quick. Swift. Roslinda Rasul. She was a observer for AmCham. Oh, she quick. She quick from AZJet to Manufacturing Association. Oh, she touch everybody. Went everywhere. Now she had foreign affairs. She was an observer, AmCham, for the last election. One letter writer this morning is making the point. Says these bodies like AmCham, they can be impartial. They get dogs in the game. How they can be impartial? How? How can they be impartial? Keith Bernard, I think, is the letter writer. Recommended reading. How can they be impartial? He's looking at the nature of the organization. What the organization aims to do, the business interest. How can they be impartial in today's press? You guys must take a look at that. And then, of course, the other thing that's giving them sleepless nights. You see, it's nothing like when you obey backfire. You remember Edgil said, oh, he can give people sleepless nights. Nothing like when you obey backfire. Nothing like when it backfire. Now it's the under the gun. Transparency International saying how corrupt they are. Oh, we were just the rabble rousers. And that's what they would tell the Americans and the British. That's what they tell the European Union and CARICOM. Oh, it's just the rabble rousers. And now this international body, international organization, Transparency International, came out with this corruption perception index. Does it every year. Reputable organization. Most countries look to see what their shortcomings are and try to correct them. Not these boys. They don't want to look at their own faults. They're looking back. They want to look back. And so this whole thing came up. And it's damage control now. So you gotta try to make your political foe look worse than you. Because the Granger-led administration of 2015 to 2020 improved the country's ranking. Who is we? Remember, we never do nothing. Right? We just spend a lot of money, but we never really do nothing. Right? So he's not going to explain their record. He's out there to show why we were undeserving of the high ranking we got on the index. Somebody said yesterday.
I saw a lot of issues about the transparency issue. And I think Minister Teixeira and the President addressed these issues. But we have been here before, and we had to deal with this. This is almost every year this comes up. So it's nothing new. I hope that people would have looked at the entire report, some people. So here are some facts. So they said we slipped 1 point down, but in this report, it speaks about, this is the report, you can get it on the site. It has significant improvers.
Somebody said, I like when they bring out the papers. You know, and sip the little tea and so on. And you're begging for time now, because you see that the papers is credibility, yeah. You know, we have information. You bring out them papers. You know, significant improvement. You aren't talking about where you fall down and how you can improve, right? You can see them boys gonna live about all kinds of other things. They ain't going to the meat of what the folks said in this report. They get to the meat of it. Here's some of the other things he said in this, responding to this Transparency International Institution Corruption Perception Index report. Take a listen.
So Guyana, Dominican Republic, and Uruguay have been the significant improvers in Latin America. So we are the 3 countries that came up as significant improvers, starting from 2050. And I'll come to that in a minute. The significant decliners, this is the 2024 TIGI report. Significant decliners, the United States of America is here, went down 11 points, lower than Venezuela, which went down 8 points. So they're saying the United States of America declined more than Venezuela, that Canada went down at the same rate as Venezuela, 8 points. So, and these are supposed to be the democracies, the countries we look towards for a view on whether we are doing things well. I don't believe we should, but that is how people process it here in Ghana. So the United States, in the same, when we had in this report, the same one that you're hearing all APNU talk about and say, yeah, they agree with the TIGI report and all of that, not Transparency International report and massive corruption. We're seen as an improver, significant improver in the region, one of the 3 countries that had significant improvement. That's what it's described as in the report. And significant improvers, and the significant decliners include the United States of America and Canada. And both Canada and the United States declined as low as Venezuela, or one even worse than Venezuela. Now you ask President Trump if he agrees with this. They should go and ask the US administration. In this year alone, in 2024, the US slipped by 4 points. So that was under President Biden. And they said the courts in the United States, they criticized the courts in the United States of America. Now the United States of America, with all of its difficulties, is still one of the biggest democracies in the world, the greatest democracies in the world. And people value free speech there in the United States of America, and they practice it and they defend it. The Trump administration is not only defending free speech in the US, but you should listen to J.D. Vance's speech at the Munich conference, a defense of free speech. And with all of the complex systems in the United States of America in their judiciary, it's still seen as one of the best in the world. But they lost 4 points on the index. We slipped 1 point. They lost 4 points on the index. Slipped 4 points because they complain about some in the judiciary in the United States of America. The same TI report. So often you have to assess these reports in perspective and in their full complexity.
Yeah. So that's some of what he said yesterday on the report. So what did the US slip? You know what's the difference? The US can pick up the South to improve. You know what's the difference? Right? You wouldn't see the president abusing down Transparency International. Quietly, they're going to look at them systems and try to improve. Not us. We come to shoot the messenger. That's his role there. Right? They come to shoot the messenger. How could they say the America slipped? You see there's a false report here. America can't slip. I mean, it's America. Right? They can't slip. How can Canada slip? It's Canada. So, of course, if they say we slip, you can't take this report. Instead of trying to internalize, we have some work to do. And as I said last evening, I'll conclude with this. In that room where he's making those comments, you got Tupoi boss. A report out of their own institution. Right? The Procurement Commission, when they reviewed the contract process, they said Tupoi failed everything. Every box he was to tick, he circled. And he circled the wrong box. He failed everything. And he got a contract. Not only did he get a contract, he got other contracts after that one. With no history in the business. Major contract. The Bellevue. Right? Something else up to Mary. One on the East Coast, among others. And he is questioning why Transparency International give them a bad corruption rating. He's wondering that. And he's in a room with a fellow. He said, I wasn't there when he got a Tupui contract. I wasn't there. He probably wasn't there when he got the others either. But that does not negate the quality of the process. That the Public Procurement Commission said he failed everything. What was done? In that same broadcast yesterday, he highlighted how the contractors, the latest being on home stretch, those posts fell down, poor and shoddy work. And he said nothing that was bad about them. Right? He said an investigation is going to be launched. We're going to review what happened here and stern measures are going to be taken. No. It's the Mohammeds he worried about. See, it's Terence Campbell. He has his vitriol for. And Nigel Hughes and Aubrey Norton. Not for the contractors with the fallen poles. In the same way I have said, you know the bombast of Irfan Ali perhaps could only be eclipsed by Edgil because they think talking loud is leadership. The Venezuelans, whether sindicatos or the authorities, shot 6 of our soldiers. Jagdudem brought it up once yesterday, not even to say my thoughts and prayers with the soldiers and their family. He didn't bring it up once. Yesterday, you know who the venom and anger is for? Huh? The names I've called. For Glenlal, debasing that paper every week in that press conference. Glenn Lal didn't shoot 6 of our soldiers. Glenn Lal not claiming half of Guyana. You see? He not claiming that. But it is us who the venom is directed to. They know who the bad for. They know who the bad for. You see? So he whined and whined and whined yesterday in this whined and complained. Oh, the local Transparency International group don't like them, and Troy somebody and Mary and Jane and Lucille, Savitri and Fred don't like he, and just whine and complain and complain and complain. Fix your corrupt government. It's simple. Fix your corrupt government and you'll get good ratings on the index. You'll get good ratings on the index. Please and thank you. That's going to do it for us, listen, folks. Congrats to all the people who won in the Junior Soca Monarch, the Soca Monarch, the Calypso Monarch, Trotney Monarch. Congrats to everybody if everything has been run off. I know the Calypso Monarch was last evening, junior and senior. I don't know if the others have gone as yet, but congrats to everybody participating in matrimony and trying to keep the spirit of it alive. Congrats, folks. Happy Republic anniversary. I think it's happening over the weekend. Monday is a holiday. So all things being equal, you guys are going to see us back on Tuesday. Final program this evening, where you guys are going to see us back for the morning program on Tuesday. We're going to enjoy the holiday and take some rest. Please and thank you. We're going to see you guys in the next podcast. Thanks for joining us this morning. This is what we're dealing with, folks. Unfortunately. But let's stay with it. Let's stay at it. No retreat, folks. No surrender. No retreat. No surrender. We're going to see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much for joining us. Forbes and Edward and CC and Valerie, I see you there. Gwyneth is here too. Rena, Nigel, Dolly, Yvonne, Audrey, Patricia, Jilly G. Thanks for joining us. See you guys on the next one. Stay safe. Stay safe and have a great weekend too. Thank you.